I'm still trying to get unpacked and settled from moving, but I managed to carve out enough space for opening some mail. And this one is a good place to start. It says pipe fittings, but it feels a bit lightweight. And I have ordered various things, nuts and bolts, and things that could be considered a pipe fitting. And I can't find my regular opener, so this will have to do. It's something mysterious. Let's see, how do I get into this? I really need my sharper knife. This is really dull. There we go. Oh, I know this. This is an AC receptacle with a switch on it. So this is a power rocker switch, a fuse and holder, and the AC receptacle. So off and on, and you just plug in a standard AC power cable there. So I don't have anything here yet wired up to plug in and check this out, but this is for a couple of ideas. If I have something, even just a power supply where I need to make my own enclosure and have power coming in, if I want a main power switch, I can do it this way. And the main reason I want this, though, when I ever get around to building an arcade cabinet, I want the main AC to plug in here, and then I can turn on and off the main power to the whole cabinet, which is going to have some sort of maybe a Raspberry Pi inside, running on a power bar or something, and any speaker amplifier system, the monitor, and any miscellaneous electronics. So I thought this is a good way to just bring power into the cabinet and have it switchable. So this is for some time when the cost of lumber goes back down. No idea what this is because the description is a bunch of random looking characters to me. And oh, audio cables, okay. Oh, many colors, okay. I think I might have ordered this a while ago, like maybe 8 months, something like that. More so the beginning of this year, because I was starting to build up a parts supply of audio cables so that when I do things like ESP32 audio projects or teensy audio projects or even audio effect circuits, and I want to plug in a bunch of separate circuits together. Let me just open all these quickly. So it looks like I got 5 of these. So when I'm doing a bunch of audio experiments, circuit to circuit, or plugging into main audio in and out on other hardware, then having a supply of these things in case one goes bad, but also color coding these so I can remember at a glance, oh, this is belonging to the one project or the other, because I may end up with like a whole bunch of patch cords, and I could have a whole panel of sockets in one spot here. So if I've got, say, 4 or 5 of these things just plugging into a little box here with a bunch of jacks on it, at least this gives me a chance of tracing out what goes where when I bring it over to maybe an audio mixer. So I have maybe a couple of sound effects, an MP3 player, an ESP32 generating something. I bring these all to a mixer input and then bring that into whatever, an amplifier or a laptop line in to record. So yep, just building up supply. So these are stereo 1/8" standard cables, 3 conductor. So I can do stereo if I want, or just use the one end for mono. Good to have stuff around. This is described as shafts. SHAFTS, but I doubt it. Okay, but it is 4 shafts. Okay, I remember this kind of. Now, I got one of each style, one that lays flat or one that mounts 90 degrees. I believe these are called pillow blocks, but it's basically a bearing in a stable platform that you can mount to something, and when you put, in this case, for what I'm doing, a stepper motor shaft through here, it just gives you a way to mount. I've got a bunch of stepper related projects in mind. I'm not sure if I need one or the other or both of these, so I thought I'm just going to get one of each, have them on hand, and try those out. And my old stepper is already in a project, but I have this old DC motor here with a long shaft. So just as an example, if this were mounted somewhere and I needed to support this end, I could feed it through there, and then everything is more stable and things run smoother. So that's what these are all about. This one, if it's mounted vertical, this could be maybe at the top of some other platform. So this would come up through the top like this. So that's why I don't know what I'm doing exactly. I might need both mounting conditions. Now this one is from Banggood, and it's from before I moved, so it's overdue now. But this is, I really need a better knife. This is the soldering stand that I asked them to send me for the JCD 8898 soldering and hot air reflow workstation they also had sent me before. And as I pointed out, when I got that soldering workstation, it came with a flimsy little metal tab sort of soldering iron holder, and the iron would keep slipping off. Something out of the way. I just really need to get rid of that stand. So I thought having a proper holder, heavy-duty base, would be good, and this one has a little magnifier as well. So let's just take a look. Oh, I kind of like how this here just goes into these pre-notched locations here. And a USB power adapter here for lighting. So if I'm working on something here, I can get at least a little light there. But what I really wanted this for is the stand. So there's the JCD 8898, and now the iron I can just put here and forget about. Much better than that flimsy thing that came with it. So of course this is only made of plastic, it's not solid metal, definitely gonna stay no matter what you do. You still have to be careful, but if you tip it a bit, it still goes back in place. If you just use it normal, reasonable, it's gonna do the job. And finally, there's a couple of things from Amazon, and they all belonged in the same shipment, they just sent them separately. So I'm just going to take all the stuff out, lay it aside. So the first item in here, the main thing that I wanted from Amazon, solder. So I looked at the price per pound, given whatever quantity I was going to get. And this one seemed reasonably on par. I've never tried it before, but it says here, if it's in focus, that it's high quality right there. So you can't go wrong. These are tin lead, so one of them is 6040, the other is 6337. But what I really wanted was this 0.6 millimeter and 0.8 millimeter diameter. So here they are, and this one's a lot thinner, flimsier looking, good for small surface mount. And this one is a lot heavier gauge and more substantial for when you're doing bigger things through hole, or I currently need to use some solder to make some connections on thicker wiring, so not circuit board reworking or anything. So I kind of wanted something a little thicker, and I can't find all of my stuff yet, so thinner and thicker, this seemed like a good package to buy. And I'm gonna test it out. So I've got the iron heating up here, and I don't have access to very much stuff, so I found an old 9-volt battery clip with a resistor on it. Let me put this wire on it and use this alligator clip helping hand here to get things in place. This is an ugly little connection here. So here's the thicker solder. Seems to be flowing well. Of course, I'm putting a ridiculous amount, so let's see how that one goes. It's probably not going to show up very well doing it like this, but from what I can tell so far, it flowed well and it does okay. So I'll continue using it and see how it goes long term. This other stuff I really got because I needed to make the minimum order for free shipping with the solder order. So we have some drum and guitar stuff. First, I guess, these guitar strings. I've used these before. Gauges 9 to 42, Ernie Ball Super Slinky 3-pack. So this came open, but they're sealed inside. When I looked up the price of these locally in a music store, getting a 3-pack on Amazon was on par with the per single set price if I just went to the store. So if I can get it for the same deal on Amazon, why not use it to add to minimum order shipping? And I really needed these because the last time I saw the guitar that these are going to go on, it kind of needed a bit of work. In the meantime, I also needed some guitar picks. So same deal, these things in store, about the same price as Amazon, so why not? So these are medium thickness, they come in all different colors. And yeah, I really need to get this workbench set up. I don't have overhead lighting, so I do have a flashlight. There we go. 0.7 millimeter thickness. So that just gives you the amount of strength you need for going along a string. I've tried the thinner gauge and the heavier gauge before. The thin kind of bends when it hits the string, so maybe it's meant for different things, lighter strings, different instruments, but the heavy one, you might as well be using a coin. It's too heavy for what I do, so medium. It is 0.73 millimeters. And these final two things are related to drums. So here we have a drum tuning key. So there it is. Now that's used for putting around the hoop of a drum when you put the head on it and you tighten up all the lugs with this. I have several somewhere, but of course I can only find one right now. So it's good to have a spare anyway. It's only a couple of dollars. The tuning lugs have those square out of focus heads on them. And it's good to have sometimes two of these because you can go on opposite sides of the drum head with two at a time and just get through it a lot quicker if you're just trying to get it loose or tight without actually tweaking the tuning yet. So it's like speed assembly or disassembly. Over in the other work area, there's a concert tom over here that I need to put the drum head back onto. So here's the drum head, throw it on, and there's these 4 lugs, which this hoop will mount to. So just thread it by hand. And this is where having 2 of these drum keys to get started can maybe make it go twice as fast. And now just start tightening in an opposite pattern so it doesn't get too much tension on one side or the other. I don't know where I want to set this, but that's how it goes. Work on it later. And this item here, these are called cymbal sleeves. So the same deal with the cymbal sleeves and the drum tuning key. I can get this on eBay or AliExpress for, I don't know, maybe $3 or something with the shipping factored in. But I can also get it for about that on Amazon, so why not? And it'll come faster than 5 months. So these cymbal sleeves go over a cymbal stand, and then the cymbal goes on top of here and just rests here with some other felt offset pads, and that lets you protect the dusty cymbal from hitting bare metal on the stand, and the sleeve protects it. This just wears out over time, especially if you have a heavier cymbal and you're always moving this around, or if the cymbal is mounted up on its side especially, it's always going to have some weight down on it, digging into it. So these wear out and you just have to replace them every so often. So this is a big, heavy 20-inch cymbal. So it's heavy and digs in, especially because it's mounted on an angle. So it's constantly chewing away at the plastic sleeve. And over here is the one I'm actually replacing. So it's got no sleeve right now, it's just metal. And you don't want this metal on metal because that will just grind away and start wearing in and cause a keyhole pattern. We want to keep this round. So we take this new sleeve, throw it on, and it kind of threads on for the last part to expose enough here that we can put the wing nut. So we have a felt pad that the cymbal can rest on. Cymbal's on the plastic sleeve protected. Throw another felt pad and the wing nut, and then we have a safe cymbal. So this is a fun and musical way to get back into everything. Obviously I have a lot more setting up to do around here, but I'm back on track. Thanks for tuning in, seeing how things are unfolding. Thanks to Patreon supporters for helping acquire some of this stuff. Thanks to Banggood for sending, along with that original JCD 8898 soldering workstation, now this better soldering iron stand. Once I get everything all unpacked and set up, I'm going to have a lot more room to work around here. So stay tuned, see what happens, because I've got stuff I haven't been able to access for years, if not decades, all in boxes. Now I can get to it once I clean up.